Okay, so cellular CIN2 cells on the cervix. Rightio. So, we've got a new video? Yep. So hold. And then just the nostril thing. Great. And then I'm willing to receive muscle monitoring. I'm willing to receive kinesiology. I'm willing to work with Guy. I receive change in alignment with the highest potential. Awesome. All right. So, we know it's the cervix that we want to look at. So, if we go into this book and we go into the female reproductive, which is the end of the pericardium. I think so, yeah. When you say it, I can't. Yeah, just pretty close. So on page 152, so that remember circulation's the first one, then the second one is male and the third one is female. And then we're looking for the cervix, so that's kidney as the reference. So I'll do hologram mode first. So no indicated change. I'm not looking for an indicated change, I'm just looking to capture it. So if it was an indicated change, it means the body wants something to be corrected and I'd have to look for what it wanted corrected. But at the moment, I'm just putting what I want on. So doing hologram first, no indicated change. And then I'll touch the pericardium alarm point. I'll do light touch. And then I'll touch the kidneys. All right, indicate, which is good because it means the body's aware there's a problem. And I'm going to put another one on as well. So I'll do hologram again. And now I'll do deep touch. And then I'll do, which is third stage stress. See, just randomly cut in. And then I'll do kidney alarm point. I'm everywhere. That one didn't show, but it doesn't mean that it's not relevant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check switching on that because maybe it's hidden to the body. So I'll just go left, right, front, back, top, bottom. So it's only seeing it as a second stage stress at the moment. I'll do suppression as well. Sometimes that can be hidden. So I'll get you to put your feet together and apart. And now I'm going to do, so that probably something with the device because it was making noise when I was moving it. So it could be the cord. So we might need to get onto that before the next big course. So now I'm going to do cell mode. So because it's the cellular abnormality in the cervix. Yeah? Deep touch. So anatomy, cell. So because we've got cervix in circuit, I'm looking at the cells of the cervix. Does that make sense? So if I just did cell, it would just be cells. There's like 100 million of them, or 100 trillion actually, in a body. So it's sort of like a bit all over. So I'm going to do cell mode, and it's actually like the epithelial cells, which are like the surface cells. So there is like a mode for epithelial I created. So it's like that, because it's like surface cell. And that's not showing either. So your body is not detecting that there's a problem with the cells. And they're just kind of dividing and progressing. So I'll get you to put your feet together apart. So then I'm going to do switching on the epithelial cells of the cervix. So left, right, front, back, top, bottom. So remember the switching wasn't showing before, but now it's showing in the context of the cells. So the body's picking up a lack of self-awareness in relation to it. And that's gone into third stage stress. So there's third stage stress around the switching. So Chi harmonics, etheric body. You can feel the energy prickling once we're clearing the switching, because the body's going, whoa, I can see that. So once the body sees stuff, it can start correcting it. So I've done this on people with cancer before, and then their body starts killing off the cancer because the body can go, oh, geez. And it'll start killing the cancer cells, which is what it was supposed to do in the first place. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's happened a few times when I've done that. Feet together apart. Okay, so then I'll put the epithelial cells on again. And they're showing stress now. Feet together apart. So then I can go more information correction. So it's not responding. So the body's immune system is supposed to kill cells that aren't doing their job. So what I'm going to go and do an MPA immune system balance, because that's what I'd have to do under normal circumstances. So then I'm just going to let's put suppression mode on. So now I'm going to put immune mode on, light touch, immune mode on, deep touch. And it's not indicating. So that means like cancer is an under energy state of the immune system, because the policing of the immune system in relation to the body is depressed. So the police aren't getting rid of the criminals in society. So the cancer cells are like little criminals, and the police are supposed to kind of round them up and dispose of them, but they haven't done it.
Which alarm points did you do to put them in there?
The kidneys and spleen 21, which is an alarm point. We use that one in the figure eights.
You're also touching it higher as well?
That's spleen 21.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, that's kidney and that's spleen 21.
Okay.
That's the spleen alarm point, which is a
Yeah,
gallbladder point.
Yeah.
And was it both kidneys?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bilateral.
Anyway, you'll learn that in a good time. So here's left right switching, front back switching, top bottom switching. So top bottom switching is showing up in relation to the body's depressed immune system. Feel that. All right, so I'll just put the depressed immune system mode on again. All right, indicating. Because I cleared the switching. Feet together apart. So a good kinesiologist looks for what's there, looks for what's not there, not what it doesn't show. So if you've got a medical test that says you've got these abnormal cells, and then you test the body for it and it goes, I don't know, and then you check the switching in relation to it, and you're clearing up the confusion in the body's self-awareness around not being able to detect it. And so medical tests are really useful in kinesiology, because you know something's there, and if it doesn't show by the body, then you know the body's self-awareness is blocked, and you look for ways to activate the body's self-awareness in relation to what it's not showing you once you've got what it's not showing you in circuit. Cool. And then there's in MPA you get a vial for 2 brain. in MPA you get a vial for immune system. So there's immune under energy vial. And the immune under energy vial is specific for I'm confused. Anyway, I got immune under energy vial after all that. So the immune under energy vial is for cancer as opposed to, say, just general immune depression. So you got immune under energy where you're picking up bugs, like you're getting sick all the time from, catching colds and flus and what have you. And so that's like just generic immune depression. And then you have autoimmune depression. So you're not policing your body correctly to kill off rogue cells. So I'll just put this on and see what the body does. And then hold. So while the body's aware that there's cells there, it's not showing that there's an immune depression, which there would be because the cells aren't being killed. So then I'll check switching again. Just relax your arm. Thanks. So front back switching.
When you're doing switching, should you check all three before you do a correction?
Well, I checked all three then,
Yeah. Is that
but usually it's only one, so I balance one.
and then recheck the three?
Not usually. Usually it's just one.
And if it was more than one, you just go and do it.
I'd do more than one. And you can notice that she's getting the biggest reactions when we correct the switching. So her body's going, whoa, what's that doing there? Okay, hold. So I'll take that off and put that back on, and now it's showing. And then feet together apart. And so I'll just flip into the MPA immune balance, which is there's 4 books. And I just opened the wrong one. All right. So then,
When do we do this?
it's in your last semester. But don't worry, there'll be lots of stuff to do before then. So this is. So we're going to have a look at the bone marrow, which is the genesis point for the whole immune system. The thymus glands, which is what matures the T cells. The spleen, which is basically a cluster of lymph nodes that filters the blood. The lymphatic system, and the lymph nodes, which exist in the lymph system and the spleen. And the complement system. You're all looking lovely today. So the complement system are proteins in the plasma that help the specific immune system. And so the idea is once we balance that, it'll sharpen up your immune system and they'll kill off your CIN2 cells. So let's have so the mode for bone marrow is bone mode kidney, and then hold, and that's in second stage stress. I'm going to go through this quickly because it's sort of a bit off the reservation. Then I'm going to go Jing electrical cell, which is for stem cells. And then feet together apart. And then we'll just scan down through the different. So anatomy, physiology, gland, cell, nutrition. We've got that one, all good. And then we'll go to the thymus gland. So that's triple heater alarm point organ or gland. And then thymus in the middle of the chest. And then infraspinatus, just relax your shoulder, otherwise you'll recruit. Then hold. It's in second stage. So that's the muscle that corresponds to the thymus gland. Chakra, to get rid of the second stage, sacral chakra. Feet together apart. I'll check the infraspinatus, relax your shoulder. Hold. That's it. Just relax. Relax. Hold. Excellent. And then we'll check the thymus gland, so anatomy, physiology, gland, enzyme, cells, indicating cortex, medulla, T cells. So there's stress in the T cells. So we've got cytotoxic, T helper, T suppressor, T memory cells, bone marrow T memory cells. So cell times immune plus liver 8, which is here. So just hold those for a while, like fizz points. You feel the energy on those? So balancing a T memory cells. There's a lot of light energy moving through our body at the moment. Feet's going apart. Cool. So T cells, cytotoxic, T helper, T suppressor, T memory, anymore. Nutrition. Okay, so that's the thymus gland done. Just leave that in circuit. Pardon? Just don't lose the circuit. Oops. I'll just pick it up. Yeah, it's good. Your cheese flowing. So now we're going to the spleen. So spleen, organ mode, spleen alarm point, and then the muscle, middle traps, and then hold. Middle traps. It's going apart. And then we'll go anatomy, physiology, cell, nutrition. So we've got vitamin A, minerals, amino acids. So amino acids, proline, minerals it was, zinc, silica, iron. Do you have low iron, do you know?
I should know. I didn't bring all the supplements to take though. Intakes are irrelevant.
That's fine. What do you take?
Activated bees, turkey tail, and probiotics, probiome. Does anyone have?
Iron. Well, it might be. What?
I can get more.
Well, the iron could be localized. Sometimes it's like.
More leafy greens.
So iron showing. Just get that there. Feet's going apart. So now we're going to go into nutritional gateways, which is part of the MPA. And then we've got minerals. And then we've got iron, which is here, bladder 4. Bladder 4. So nutrition, atlas for minerals, and then bladder 4. It should be on the left if she needs it. So there's bladder 1, bladder 2, bladder 3, bladder 4. No hemochromatosis in your family? red bladder 4, VTO apart. So I'm just putting that in circuit. We can upload iron into the body. So on the last weekend we did MPA, and one of the students had low zinc, and we got the zinc drink, like metagenic zinc liquid, and he tasted it and went, caramel. And it should taste terrible if your zinc levels are good, and it tastes very nice if your zinc levels are terrible. And so he obviously had terrible zinc levels. And so then I did this process using magnets and then cleared out mercury using the same process but in reverse, and then gave him a quick dose of zeolite to mop up the mercury, and then gave him the metagenics drink, and he went so in 10 minutes he went from terrible zinc to good zinc using energy medicine and kinesiology. What? And so so that balanced it. I'm going to put it up as a video on YouTube, so you'll be able to see it. I'll post it on the hub. There's a lot of back chatter in that afternoon. You guys are great. Stay good. So we're gonna go. Yeah, well, at least you're managing it from a self-aware. All right. So any more? So we got anatomy, physiology. So I haven't balanced the iron in relation to the spleen. I've just highlighted it for the body and created a pathway for it. And then when we do the balance, it should sort it out, or I might have to go back and use the magnets to download iron. So I'm just going to tap that in. And so the next part's the lymphatic system. So that's where all the lymph nodes live. That's what we use to clean all the crap out of our body. So pericardium controls circulation. So I go tissue mode pericardium. And then stomach 35, which you learnt in Law of 5 Elements when we're doing lymphatic massage. Activates the lymphatic system. And then I'm going to just check the muscle. So putting on the lymphatic system put you in second stage stress. So now I'm going to create lymphatic return by lifting legs up. So that's just sending using gravity. And then hold. That's showing stress. So you just take the circuit again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check pec minor, which is a muscle that shuts down the thoracic duct. So just get it relaxed. And we're just going to lift your shoulder up a little. Can you just raise it a little? That's it. Just take that off so you don't prop with your elbow. I'll get a hold. So that looks hypertonic. We'll do this one. The left side drains most of the body. That one's hypertonic as well. And you remember what's it called? The sternocleidomastoid muscle that controls the lymphatic drainage for the head. I'll hold that head there. So that's in second stage stress as well. So feet's going apart. Later on, I'll show you how to do reactives to those muscles. We've already learnt that one with the psoas. But I'm just going to come in here, just above your breast, and flick the muscle just to release the tension using like Bowen. Cross fibre release, they call it.
Worked the gym hard on that one. Not good timing for that.
Oh, you went.
I've been
You
at
walk.
the gym very hard lately on that muscle.
Okay. And then we'll do this one as well. So that's just going to open up the lymphatic flow. She loves it. Feels great. What?
No,
Yeah.
no, these are fine for me.
These ones are. These ones are okay.
Yeah.
Just a bit more there.
But that's not your fault.
Well, often if it's blocked, it's sore too.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so that's going to open up the flow of the lymphatic system. So I'll put that back on again. So I'll go here, and then stomach 35, and then lift these up, create drainage, just relax. So the fluid's converging on the thoracic duct. And that's not showing stress anymore. And now we're going to go have a look at lymph nodes. So I'll put lymph node mode on. So that's going to encompass the spleen and the lymphatic system. So I'm going to go pericardium. And then with tissue mode plus stomach 35. And then immune tissue in the lymphatic system. Okay. And I'm going to check anatomy, physiology, cell, nutrition, hormone. So cell showing, outer follicular B cell. So active B cell showing stress. So cell times immune times liver 4. I mean plus liver 4. So that we did the T memory cells. Now we're doing the active B cells. So they're the ones that produce immunoglobulins that are targeted to whatever something is, infection. Alrighty. Hold. Any more? Scanning, nothing showing. So now we're going to go to the complement system. So they're proteins in the. So we put on lymphatic system, and then we'll put on blood. We'll put on water because it's in the blood, it's not, and the lymphatic fluid. And then we'll put on protein mode times immune system. So it's immune proteins in the liquid of the soluble proteins, immune proteins in the blood and the lymphatic fluid. And they work with lysis of the cells, opsonization, binding to specific complement receptors, immune clearance, binding to specific histamine release, chemoattractants to macrophages, neutrophils and basophils. Cool. Feet together and apart. Okay. So in a sense, all of that's been activation with a kind of like, it's like controlled activation, because I've got these like big tables with lots of information on them, and I'm going to those tables because they're in relation to the immune system, and I'm scanning in those table spaces. So I'm getting specific stress points in relation to the whole immune system. So now I can see if there's any pure setup items, so more information. So it goes into hypertonicity when I do that. So this is the body's chance to tell me exactly what a free association, to tell me what it's interested in. Okay, more information. So emotion, energy, structure, physiology, something else. So it says it wants a brain vial. So that's the full set of just brain vials that from Neurophys 2 and Neurophys 1 and Neurophys 3. So,
The insular one's the one that gave me that electric shock that time. Like fried my brain.
so the basal ganglia is showing.
Feel that all through my brain.
As I'm touching it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Glycine. Carbon monoxide. That's it. And then the microglia, which is like the immune system in the brain. All the immune cells in the brain. So the microglia is the priority. So it's going into brain immunity. So the microglia. So if I go into Neurophys 3, it's probably good you're watching this because you're kind of seeing like a professional kinesiology balance. Wrong one. There's extra courses, extra courses. Neurophys 2 and 3. Annual Neurophys 3. So the chemistry of consciousness. So then we'll go into the microglia, and there's some. So we've got immune over energy, immune under energy, blood-brain barrier, brain remodeling, perivascular macrophages also. Perivascular macrophages, I'll put that on first. So cell, so immune, liver 1. So they're like the macrophages in the brain. So this is the priority setup item. Cool. And then does it want any? So then we've got any more dendritic remodeling. Then carbon monoxide's coming up. Should I look at it? Yes, no, yes. So carbon monoxide operates extensively throughout the brain and is an inhibitory, countering the excitatory effects of nitric oxide. It absorbs through the cell membranes and the postsynaptic neuron. It is present in the gut brain with NO anymore. All right. And then basal ganglia. Any more? Doesn't really want that one in it now. Thought I've done the other ones. More information. So it doesn't want any more information. Correction. Now let's look for a correction. It's on a hologram. Motion, energy, structure, physiology, something else. now wants a Dantien balance. So the feet together apart. A Dantien balance. This is, I created this one. It's working with the Dantians that use in Qigong. They're like, so they're like centers of coherence. So chakras are like doorways, and Dantians are like centers of coherence. So then, so work with a lower Dantien. So I'm just going to monitor that one. So that's stressed. And then what we want to do is get your I am presence embodied into the lower Dantien. So I'll just get you to say, I am, that I am, that I am, that I am.
I am, that I am, that I am, that I am.
So the I am presence is like moving through the Dantien. And the lower Dantien represents power. Just say power.
Power.
Excellent. More. Cool. And then we'll do the middle Dantien. I am, that I am, that I am, that I am.
I am, that I am, that I am, that I am.
Compassion. So the middle Dantien represents compassion. So it's heart meridian. So I'm doing meridian chakra release on the heart. It's about coherence. And then the upper Dantien, I am, that I am, that I am, that I am.
I am, that I am, that I am, that I am.
Wisdom. So you got power, compassion, wisdom. Lower, middle, upper. Okay. And then we'll see if they're reacting with each other. So I'm going to turn up the lower one. Feel that?
Yeah.
That's turning off the upper one. And then the middle one.
Intense.
Oh, it's really intense.
Yeah.
But what it's doing is it's so it's like when you come into your power, you are shutting down your wisdom, and when you're coming into your compassion, you're shutting down your thingy. Just do this.
Fuck, that's hot.
Burning up all those CIN2 cells. So what that does is it makes all the major centers work simultaneously instead of mutually exclusive. So sometimes it can be pretty full on.
My body's squashed. Fucking heavy.
And just say power, compassion, wisdom. I'll say it for you. Power, compassion, wisdom. And then hold. And then power, compassion, wisdom. Then we're going to do the axial vowels.
It's okay to let it out.
I'm being crushed.
Do you know by what?
My whole body.
Axial
I've
one.
had this before. In that one I told you about.
Yeah.
It's like this is the entry to that really hypertonic state and extreme compression.
So we might just have an early break. That's the actual whole balance. So the correction was the the Dantien correction, and then the setup was the microglia and the macrophages in the brain, and carbon monoxide. And then we went through all the different structures inside the immune system after we used the hologram to target the cervix. Then we went into the cells of the cervix and then looked at the immune system in relation to the cells of the cervix and cleared switching where things weren't showing. And we knew we had to clear switching because that we have medical evidence that those cells are there, and if the body's not showing it, then we kind of have to like open up the body's awareness with the switching so that it can perceive them. And so we'll let Amber gather herself.